This film looks back over the past 50 years at the history of Millwall FC, its players and fans. It's a club which for some still carries the stigma of racism and stories of willful violence by fans.
You go where you're welcome, and that's how Millwall was.
Yeah, it's my first time here, but yeah, I'm really loving the cosy nature of the club. You know, a club that's really embedded into the community.
Burger, bruv?
Right, well, hamburger.
You coming in?
Yeah, I'm coming in now.
Right, what's all this about, mate?
We're making a film about the club with the club.
Yeah, but I'm his lawyer.
No. So it's about being a black Millwall supporter.
Yeah, but I love you from Black.
The notion of Black Millwall, as in black players and fans, very much goes against established stereotypes. And it is often met with strong expressions of polite and less polite disbelief.
Did you see any black fans at that time?
The odd one or two. I mean, you'd have to look. To look fairly.
Ian Wright was about somewhere. Ian was actually a Millwall supporter, so he used to come and watch the home games. So he said. So I must have seen him somewhere because there wasn't that many. Wasn't that many about.
Yeah, you like the new manager, Neil Harris?
Yeah, I love him. Never heard of him. Get me in with my brother. What's happening, son?
Can't tell you apart.
Oh, you can't. He's been away. You've seen this weather, haven't you? What are you doing? Right, I'm grab away. I'll be out.
Mate, all right.
I heard that it does a lot of things to the area in general as well. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to enjoying the atmosphere of the stadium.
Not a lot of people gave him credit because he didn't come with many credentials apart from being a player and knowing the team itself, or should we say the club. But overall, no one can really criticise him for any ups or downs that we've suffered. He's done bloody well to get us where we were last season, and I hope he goes from strength to strength along with the team.
Millwall's history is very much linked to the docklands of South London and its people.
On land adjacent to Millwall Docks. The island, as it's more commonly known by the locals, accommodated the club for 25 years at 4 different sites.
I'm a Millwall supporter, but he's a black, but he's my mate. He's like Jonathan, isn't it? That's how it is.
So you've got the Cold Blow Lane stand. This is the Barry Kitchener stand, you know that?
It's named Barry.
Yeah.
What, after?
Oh,
After he died, or?
Yeah, as a result, just after he died, I think. But you can see it. Where does it say it?
What does it say?
On the very top. Look, there you are.
The new den is from 1993, and many older fans still hold fond memories of the old ground. But the names of its stands ensure that the past remained present. The Barry Kitchener stand is named after one of Millwall's legends.
Bill Walker. Wide again there. Barry Kitchener right in. He scored! Well, I'm blowed. That's 2 goals in the back.
The Cold Blow Lane is the road leading to Millwall's old stadium. It's a road with a reputation. The Docker stand salutes the days when the Millwall game would mark the end of the working week.
I actually changed my wedding day because it coincided with a Millwall match.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I do remember that. Yeah.
They're trying to find someone really unpopular to name the away stand after.
Yeah.
I'm a candidate.
We have asked fans to share lifelong memories of supporting Millwall.
The old den then, and from our house you could hear this weird roaring sound.
Steve Atkins, and the first game I went to, as far as I remember, was Middlesbrough on a Tuesday night under the floodlights in 1971 or 72.
My name's Anthony Lynch, Tony Lynch. I think my first game was 75. Sure, it was against Oxford in the halfway line. I remember getting passed down from the top all the way to the bottom, looking through the bottom of the gate to watch the game, and then tugging some man and saying, "Can you pass me back up?" And they passed you back up to me dad. Yeah, I think it was Oxford, I'm sure it was.
My name's Stan Godwin, and the first Millwall game I went to see was in 1963 when Millwall played Carlisle United, saved by my granddad, and we won 2-0.
Neil Bradley. I can't remember the first game, I remember it was on the floodlights and it would have been the sort of mid to late 60s. But the first season I attended in full was the 1971-72 season. The only game I can actually remember from that was the last game of the season when we beat Preston North End 2-0 and then mistakenly announced that we were promoted, and that proved not to be the case.
Hi, my name's Ron Bell, and my first game, well, when I was taken, was Millwall versus Aston Villa. I'm sure Millwall lost 2-1, got relegated, and Villa went up.
I can't remember, I think it was against Bristol City, and that was going back, that was probably 1968 or something like that.
I remember the biggest crowd I ever saw there was in January '67 when we played Spurs in the FA Cup. It was over 44,000 in that ground. It was unsegregated, right? You had kids, but not just at Millwall, but you had kids then would turn up at games like that. Everyone had wooden football rails, right? Then you'd have kids with banners on broomstick handles, and they just walked in. I mean, you know, and that's how it was then.
You won't find a better stereotype than a Millwall supporter, I don't think.
Who's that typical Millwall supporter?
Ooh.
What is it, typical Millwall? That's a difficult one.
Well, I would say white working class.
I would have said that when I first come to Millwall.
Yeah,
and then when I first come to Millwall.
There's a bit more dough now.
Yeah, that's right. And,
there is. Yeah.
And a lot of the supporters then were Dockers.
You're right, Dockers, but 5 miles radius of the stadium.
Yeah.
You walk to the stadium.
No, absolutely.
That's right.
I just loved football. We used to go Dulwich Hamley and bunk in because that was a stone's throw from the house. But a good mate of mine, we used to say we go into each other's houses at the weekend, and we used to get on a bus at the end of the road, a 45 bus, and go to Chelsea. My other mate, well, this particular mate, Adrian Whiston, his family were hardcore Millwall supporters, been going for years. And his dad said to me, do you want to come one? And it was a Friday night game, or a midweek game, more to the point. And got in there, just everyone knew everyone. We used to stand with the dad till half time, and then half time we'd go and stand in the Coglow Lane end, because that's where all the singing was and all that stuff. And it was just freedom, and then meet him in a car park and go home. So it was cool. So I became a Millwall supporter. They used to call us the boys. You know, sometimes you see guys getting beer on the terrace and they can't carry one, and they put one down and they give it to us. You know what I mean? And we just, that sort of kindness. I know it sounds weird, but when you're a kid and someone's doing all that, was the football any better? No, the football weren't better than Chelsea's, but Chelsea were flamboyant covers, a bit, you know, what they call it, champagne Chelsea, where Millwall was just rough and ready. You know, you see people go to the toilet and you'll see the piss run down the terrace. So if you had a hole in your shoes, you're in trouble. You know what I mean?
Millwall, there ain't no like back seat, or you know, like someone want, like if they're here just for the wages and all that. They're not having that, do you know what I mean? It's a case of like, do you know what I mean? You're gonna see blood, sweat and tears come from them, do you know what I mean? And then, as long as they graft, and then like, there's no problem. But if someone sits back and then wants to be lazy or just there for the ride, it's not gonna happen. Do you know what I mean? Then like, everyone's just gonna jump on their back.
But look, when I first went Millwall, 3,500 to 4,500 supporters in a 16,000 stadium. And remember, you could walk 3 ends of it, right? And if you're smart, you could walk all 4 ends. So everyone knew each other.
I remember going to Millwall with the kids from the estate, you know, and they were all walking along singing. Do you remember the Lee Marvin song?
Yeah.
I was born under a monitor. They used to sing, I was born under the CBL. And it was, knives are made for stabbing, guns are made to shoot. If you come down the Old Kent Road, we'll all stick in the boot. That was the song.
Yeah.
But we was kids. I mean,
you remind us now then that the songs on the Terraces.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So there was a divide, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Crowd are absolutely
Flooding down at Millwall. You ain't Arsenal, you ain't whatever. Yeah. You know, so there's starting to be this little...
In your normal
I'm a Millwall supporter and I'll sing I hate the other team. Because you never hated before that.
No. But that time, when I first came, effectively 3 teams in South East London.
And I picked up this guy from London Bridge and he's going to Liverpool Street. So he gets in, he's got a programme in his hand. I don't remember sort of seeing what the programme was, but I knew he had a programme. And I said, so where you been then, mate? And he said, in his posh Palace accent, like, yeah, I've been to football. Oh, all right. And we were in the same league this time. So I said, who do you support then? He said, Palace. Straight away, you know, like, oh, fucking hell. I can't stand them. And he says, yeah, I've been Palace. Like, why, who do you support? And I said, Millwall. I said, 6 points for us this season, playing you, easy. And he went, I hate Millwall. Oh, God. He said, you're all racist thugs. You all carry ratchet knives around with you. You hate this, you hate that. And all you do is stab people. And I've got pictures on my phone of you stabbing people and da-da-da. And I'm thinking, be professional. Be professional. And he kept on. And you're scum. And your supporters this. And you eat babies. And, you know, all that sort of. And we get just over the other side of London Bridge. And he'd gone on and on. You know, like, I'd snapped. The professionalism went out the window. Mate, shut your fucking mouth, all right? I said I hate Palace, and I hate Palace with a passion. I hate red, white and blue. I hate Eagles. I hate every player that's ever played for Palace. I hate your chairman, who was Simon Jordan at the time.
You know, South London ain't the biggest place in the world, or that part of South London, so everyone knew each other. But you would bond, yes, on away games. 2 free carriages, you know, a special going up to Middlesbrough or Leeds or wherever, especially Leeds. I mean, everyone loves a trip to Leeds.
So the F trip was usually a bit older than us, but that's where you kind of progressed to. You started on what you call the hooligan and the CBL, and then you end up at what they call the halfway line, which was the F trip. But they was all at least 5 years older than us.
So what were you, before one becomes the F troop, what are you then?
We were CBL.
Okay.
That's Millwall's Coldblow Lane.
Right, yes.
You know, that's where all the hooligans are kind of noted for. Behind the goal,
yeah.
90% of them was young guys like us, 15s up to about 20, you know.
I supported Millwall mainly in the 3rd division. That's where they were. So it was going to teams like Peterborough, Crewe, all them dodgy northern teams. You know, running around wanting to bash everyone's heads in. It's just the whole thing about being there. Do you remember so-and-so when he wore flares, or he wore them shoes, or he done that jacket, or he gripped up, or he pulled a bird going up there, and that used to be part of the bravado. Them sort of stories would vibrate for years and years and years to come. You have the Millwall supporters looking after themselves when we go away games, or when teams come to us. It weren't a nice place to come. Because I had to walk through the old car park. You know what I mean? And so that reputation builds.
The away game was a buzz, do you know what I mean? They're like, like we used to go on the football specials, they'd sit up there, like people used to play cards, and then there was no toilets, and, well, the toilets on there, but like you'd sit up there with windows, you know what I mean? Basically, just do whatever you want to do, do you know what I mean?
People say about Millwall, you go away game, 200 of you. 150. I mean, people like the Kempsters, they had a bit more money than us because they were a little bit older. It wasn't so much the clothes, it was just that you hear people say, oh yeah, we're going to Sunderland this week. And you think, oh shit, can I afford it, can't I afford it, or do I, you know what I mean? So, but you see everyone. Them days it was fashionable to get a driver and just get a van and everyone pile in the van. And a mate of mine, who I obviously know now, and He had a lion suit, and you could see him running along the top of on the roof of the stand. But you know, going to a away game when everyone's surgical masks. New Cross Hospital, geezer nicked a load of masks, them surgical masks, and we got off the train and everyone put them on, and that's where treatment came from. You know what I mean? So, but what a funny day. You know, I think that was Bristol Rovers, Bristol City, one of them games, you know what I mean? But they're the laughs, and that's what, when we all meet up, we can, it's continuous jokes.
The Docklands, light industries, white working classes. That's what this part of Southwark Lewisham was all about.
The den was badly damaged in April 1943. It was a year later before they finally returned to carry on playing in front of the wreckage. This was the scene in March 1944.
Yes, and then the immigrants arrived on the Windrush and the ships that followed. They settled in Millwall neighbourhoods like Peckham, New Cross, Deptford and Camberwell.
It was a novelty to a lot of people being black in Peckham in the late 1950s, early 60s.
In those days, your black guys and white guys didn't really mix too strong, you know, but everyone went their separate ways, you know what I mean? Because immigration, there wasn't, you know, like in Peckham now, there's a lot of blacks. It wasn't like that. Probably in Brixton, yes, but not in, especially Bermondsey and them other areas, you know?
In my school that I went to back in 1957 when I started, it was a large new comprehensive, 1,700 children were the pupils of the school, and there were 2 black students. Within 10 years, the number had multiplied to probably around a couple of hundred.
I came to this country in 1962, so I've been living in this area from then, near enough. Primary school and secondary school.
Millwall be the obvious local team?
Millwall became quite obvious in as much as from my school, because a number of the footballers came there to coach players. Joey Broadfoot and Alf Ackerman from that era were 2 of the prominent ones.
I've got all friends from primary school. Even now we go to Millwall together. So I've known them all my life, really.
A lot of the people that I've grown up with still come here. We're in the Nag's Head in Camberwell Green. It's a pub to just really knock heads with old friends, really.
Yeah, which is kind of one of the things I keep remembering.
So you get some of the Millwall fans coming there, you know, the Camberwell Millwall fans that come here as well. And then you've got other guys from the area that also support other clubs, like your Manchester Uniteds. You've even got some Celtic fans here as well. You know, you've got some Arsenal fans, you name it. But everybody comes here and we all get on. More than anything, it's more about the community. Millwall is the closest football club, so I think, yeah, there's a strong identity to the area, really.
Got a friend in every block, is it, walking around these parts?
No, we were obsessed with football. Girls were horrible. People come live in Kent and they still make their way to come and pop in and say hello. And there's obviously a pie and mash up just up the road, so, you know, pint and pie and mash is and then go to the game. Yeah. And then that was my goal, always. And yeah, so I convinced myself, you know, my mum was able to see me because that was my mum's bedroom. My mum was in the kitchen quite often. Felt sorry for the old boy there. He hated us kicking the ball along there. Oh, he hated it. Yeah, so this pitch here used to be a gravel pitch. You'd go in for a tackle and you'd just see smoke, like dust. Burgess Park would be a neutral place for lots of areas to come and play out and play, and you just You know, even if you saw people you've never seen before, you'd be like, fancy a match? And you would have the match. Thinking that they're Lineker or whoever it was, Maradona. Yeah, Maradona was a famous one. Van Basten, that was a popular one. Yeah, popular one. They had used Van Basten back in the day. Pele was still going strong at those times. Even though he'd retired, he was still. People would be mentioning Pele.
Not Barry Kitchener.
You wouldn't hear Kitchener. Nah, you wouldn't hear that. Oh, you wouldn't hear Cascarino. Sharing them days, yeah.
Millwall had never been in the top flight of English football until a couple of golden years in the late 1980s, with Cascarino and Sheringham leading the line.
It was their combination that enabled the Lions to make a real impact.
Otherwise, glory was a remote prospect.
There was a point where I was really, as I said, I'd say I'd be rooting for Manchester United just because I didn't want, you know, to be a part of the underdogs, so to speak. Yeah, so I was rooting for glory. Yeah, on the last block. You know, so it's nice that it's still there. Yeah, it's just must have been good things.
If you're a little kid who ain't doing very well in life, you ain't got no mates, Billy no mates, blah, 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 you support Millwall, you got mates, you got people looking after you, and you become like family. I would always say that's representative of how I always will know Millwall as a family. Certainly we all looked after each other, definitely. That was not, you know, from sharing bags to drinks to chipping in if someone got a fine for getting nicked, you know what I mean? I know people used to go to court, support each other. So yeah, that's how it was. There weren't many people going away games. You know, you go to Stoke, and as soon as you walk out of there, you're off to Victoria Station, you fucking be bottles and bricks and things like that. Now, if you start treating people like an animal, they will start to behave and think like an animal. So that's where you looked after yourself and you look after each other. That was the defending side of, you know, someone put your back up, you'll look after yourself. So yeah, there was a lot of that. And the home games was just more of a meet-up. You know, we all met every week. I mean, more so as I got older. Do you know what I mean? Because then you could then plan your away game.
Middlesbrough, yeah, I think we'll be all right. Well, we beat them once and we lost once, wasn't it? So I think we got a chance, so yeah.
Who's your favourite players?
Jed Wallace, Aidan O'Brien. We always support them so they can win lots of games.
You know, you look on the map, no phones there, no, do you know what I mean? But someone bring a big bloody map of England. Yeah, we turn off at Junction 6 and I'll meet you there. Yeah, you had a few, what they call spotters, who knew where to go, where to meet, what pub the other team drank in, or their supporters drank in, how you going to ambush them. Yeah, there was a lot of that. Yeah.
Being black and being Millwall, that is the apparent contradiction that most outsiders find difficult to understand.
You didn't look at colour, you didn't look at, it was nothing, it was just Millwall. You heard your little bits and pieces that were going on in the ground, and like the chanting, the racist rings, and like when go up there, bananas on the pitch and all shit like that. Do you know what I mean? But like times change, but they move on. And like a lot of people say to me, "Oh, how can you be Millwall supporter? They're racist." But I say, how can they be racist? Do you know what I mean? So I support them. Do you know what I mean?
Because they used to sing songs about fat blokes or Scottish bloke or you Northerners. So we're Northern bloke. We're someone from the north, you wouldn't kind of know unless you open his mouth. But someone's black, you kind of stand out instantly. So I just saw it as kind of, jovial things. Because I remember being somewhere and they was all shouting, black, and I've done the same, just in singing the song without even realising it.
So obviously, you're black.
Yes.
Most Millwall fans are not. We're not.
Yes, were not, and still not.
And are still not, that's right.
Yes.
Would that be an issue?
No, it wasn't an issue. Because the black guys that you saw, it's universal. You nod your head. All right, mate. Do you know what I mean? You don't know them, but you nod your head. So it's like I said, you see regular faces.
The opposition used to sing songs, oh, Millwall's got a nigga, Millwall, and things like that. You know?
So you see them, doesn't matter, I don't necessarily know who they were, but we all knew each other.
Things like that personally didn't really upset me too much, because when I first came where we lived, I got to know all the people around there, because I used to babysit for these ladies, some English kids, white kids, so I got to know people, put it that way.
There weren't many black guys. 14, 15 of you that you regularly see, especially on the away games or home games. You know what I mean? There were some people who just went away games. They couldn't be bothered with it because they knew they were going to have a good tear up.
Me and my friends was friends. When I said, because I've been to their house, you get to know them. So even at school, I remember once I was having a fight with my friend, white friend, and I helped him against his black boys, and all these black boys was calling me all these names and wanted to beat me up, coconut, chalk eyes, whatever they call it. But because I just knew the guy, I said, what do you want me to do? He's my friend from young. They didn't see it like that, you know what I mean?
Some clubs had black fans who developed a following like a firm. At Millwall there was a big guy called Tiny.
There weren't many black people perhaps going football. There weren't many black players. But a lot of the clubs had big boys who were black. You know, Kojak at Chelsea, one-armed Babs at Chelsea, you know, Tiny at Millwall, you had Denton at Arsenal, you know. I know some of the boys, well, you had Cass at West Ham. You know, these were black guys that were having a firm that followed them. So, strange times.
Tiny was Millwall from day fucking dot, do you know what I mean? He was F-Troop and then everything else.
Tiny was a devoted Millwall fan, and he is somebody who gained a lot of admiration for his support for the club.
Tiny was one of them guys that everyone looked up to as far as I was concerned. And you didn't mess with him.
It was our leader.
You didn't go like on his, but he was Tiny.
Well,
Tiny of Millwall.
Right, Tiny used to live in Peckham, right? And there used to be a club called the Glenville Club in Peckham. So I used to go there and I used to see him. And one of the guys dead to them, because he used to support Charlton, Tiny. So they told him to come over to Millwall, and that's how it all started. If you think I stood that, he was 6 foot odd. You know? And he had the name Tiny, you understand?
And you became a firm?
Yeah, so there was a lot of us, and we used to go to, there's a place it's in Ilderton Road where Millwall's ground is. So when we was kids, we used to go to there was a cafe that we used to go there and play ping ball and things like that. So that's how we really started to become friends. Because when he used to go home, I used to walk home his way. You know? So all the guys that I'll show you later on my pictures, about 30 of us, believe it or not, we used to be in this cafe. Even now, I was trying to work it out. How the cafe man let us in there. We was all you. We weren't spending no money on food or nothing. Just ping ball machines, you understand?
Well, it's Walker for Millwall. Allowed to run all the way and making the most of the chance. The goal for Phil Walker.
When West Brom in 1978 signed 3 black players, it came to be regarded as a landmark for English football. It is less well known that Millwall, already in 1975, had signed 2 black players.
In the media, it was Millwall of all clubs.
Was it Phil Walker, wasn't it? Yeah. Phil Walker and Trevor Lee. And they played Brighton on a bank holiday. Yeah. And there was this, they were just brilliant. They just gelled. I thought I'd only played a few games like that.
I've got some clips of you guys scoring some. Well, definitely you scoring some crackers.
Good shot. Brendan goal. Well, Walker made strides there like a good one. And he really hammered a low shot there that gave Steele very little chance into the back of the net.
So when Phil and Trevor arrived, it wasn't difficult for them to break into the team. We didn't have a very popular team, a very high standard of player. They could be given a chance, and Gordon Jago was the manager to do that.
Millwall asked us to go for a trial in October, was it September? Asked us to go for a trial for a month.
Yeah, it was during the week.
A month's trial during the week.
Yeah.
So we went, because it's always us, we went to, we came training on the Monday. We played Wednesday against Luton Town, which we actually won that. We had a good game. And on the Saturday, we played for the first team.
Yeah, no one knew quite how it would go, but my dad told me that to have faith in our public. I mean, he was from Bermondsey. His family all worked on Thames Industries. They were dockers, they were seamen, they were lemonade delivery men. People from around here will know what I mean. R. White's was in Bermondsey. He just said, no, have faith in them. He said, they'll always be for the underdog. That's their mentality.
When you heard that Millwall were after you, what was your reaction?
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
There were no hesitation?
No. When you're 20, 21 and you get a chance to play professional football, you just grab it.
You grab it, yeah.
You take it to hand, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
And no matter what people said about Millwall, he was so eager to come in and play. He really wanted to.
They were good, for starters. So that was the main thing. And they also played for their shirts, because you know what, we're a bit fickle, Millwall. We don't really like tarts playing for us.
Well, at that time, Millwall, it's part of London, one of the racist parts of London, and no one, as they say, no one likes us. That's what Millwall say. It's true. No one likes us.
We don't care.
Well, that's actually true. It was a challenge for us.
If you're shit, then or if you're in a battle, then you're not accepted, basically. Do you know what I mean?
But by their demeanour and their enthusiasm and their talent, you know, they did for Millwall what the 3 Degrees did for West Brom.
I don't know. I thought good with the fact that everyone loved them.
Like I say, our first game we started off well, you know, and we continued to do it until I got injured. Then Trevor carried on.
When you arrived, Kitch was the main man, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
And you played a few years with him, didn't you?
Yeah.
So I watched lots of games from the stands, and I watched the reaction of people towards Trevor when he was playing, and it's just a big transformation in them couple of months to see people sitting down with people in front of me. Trevor was called all the names underneath the sun, the Millwall supporters. He was, and they didn't care. Like I say, they don't care who's behind them, who's in front of them. And I'm sitting behind them, and they're just calling them all the names under the sun. As the month went on, he started to be called Trevor Lee. This is serious. He started to be called Trevor Lee. As the game went, he was getting better and better, playing well. And in the end, when I actually got better, his name was actually Trevor. In that couple of months.
Family.
No, they changed from all the names under the sun to Trevor. It's incredible. So when you see situations like that, then you know that you've got no problem playing for them. As long as you give 100% for Millwall Football Club, they'll back you up 100%. So we just love playing for them.
It's like pixelating, you know, like whole bits of it wouldn't come out.
As long as you give 100%. Or even more, they're behind you. If you're doing well, and the way the home supporters see you doing well, they want to try and unnerve you a bit, you know, so they used to come out with a racist chants and all that sort of stuff.
But that was the same. If we would have an Irish player.
Still with McGrath. Oh, great goal!
Yeah. Chris McGrath. And he was all the Irish names under the sun.
Yeah.
So anything to put him off. So because we was black,
they picked up.
They picked on that.
You get people saying, shout out derogatory stuff, racist stuff to other black players. Remember, like, you had players like Bob Hazel and you know, especially the Birmingham teams would have a black player or two black players, and they'd shout, you black, this and that, and they'd turn around and say, I'm not talking to you, mate, I'm talking to that black. How'd you work that one out?
It didn't work.
No.
No, my dream was to play. My dream was to play football. So it was either playing on a Sunday or Saturday in front of 200 people abusing you, or playing against thousands abusing you. How about that? Thousands abusing you. I might start saying the thousands abusing me.
Yeah. We're greedy.
And when Freshman come along, that like, we're like, he was a striker, everyone loved him as well.
You know, I just leave that part and try to enjoy it. And, you know, I leave that to the people outside, and soon I'm on the pitch. I just play for the shirt, play for the club, so that's what I enjoy.
Yeah, my dad told me a lot about him and, you know, how he scored this goal against Leeds, so yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's BBFC15.
It's the last time I'll be, as a player, I'll be on the pitch. So it's a great moment for me and my family. But I'm going to try to enjoy it, that's it. You know, I didn't expect all these years after that, but really proud to be here now. I remember that one of the biggest atmosphere I played here was the semi-final against Huddersfield. The year we get promoted as well, so I think that night was tremendous, and it's one of the best nights I think at the Den here. Big crowd, big atmosphere as well. So obviously we won and we get to the final, so it was a great night.
No longer registered to Millwall, and Jimmy Abdu was substituted after 5 minutes. His days at the Den came to an end.
So no matter color you are, no matter where you come from, you know, they just want people who can play for the club and give you all for the shirt. So that's what I try to do, and it works. So I'm grateful to them, and I'm grateful to the whole club, because obviously without them, I won't be here. So yeah.
Then also have been the days when National Front had
Yeah. They first polled in Lewisham. Geezer said on telly how you plan to get more people into your political party, and he said white working class people from the Terraces.
I mean, Bermondsey was slightly different.
Bermondsey was different.
Because it was...
But the National Front used to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Posters.
So that National Front, I was down at Millwall one day and they were like, British Bulldog. To me, I see the Union Jack and a Bulldog. I went and said, I was only a kid, I went to take my man, slapped my hand. My man was a socialist.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he said to me, he went to the fella, fuck off, or I'll knock you spark out. The fella went, well, I'm looking at my dad like, and he said to me, because obviously having one arm, he said, these people, he said, what they do is they'll get rid of all these, get rid of all them, and then they'll start on you.
Yeah.
So, and it's always stuck with me, that.
What I done, my daughter went to soccer school, girls' soccer school, and they got some tickets to go to the game. So I said to the parents, you know what, let the kids go. I'm going, so I'll take them. No, I'm not letting them go to Millwall. No, I ain't having it. So I said, listen, you know, come on, let them go. They'll see the week out. So they've gone to the soccer school, and at the end of the week was this game. So went to the game. Like I said, Millwall won through so many variables. Stayed behind, spoke to a few players who I knew, and walking past the Barnaby, and there must have been about 200 people outside. Beautiful day. And we're walking past. Now, me and my son are at the back just talking and chatting, and the girls are walking in front. We walked past the pub and we just heard, "You black cunt, you black cunt." And literally fucking kids like that, this high, to big adults shouting, and then one kid threw a cone at the kids, police cone. I was pissed that night, I swear to God, but I didn't say nothing. I didn't go back and tell the family, didn't say nothing to my missus, I didn't say anything. And I thought, I was just stewing, I thought, I don't know what to do about this. And then the next day, a mate of mine said to me, because I ran a football club then, Hillyfielders in Brockley, and he said to me, I heard that you had trouble at Millwall. I said, what are you talking about? No, he goes, it's on this website. Must have been a Millwall forum. And he says, basically what he said was, what a great day at the Den yesterday. We got to the playoffs, well done Millwall. But on a sad note, it was a shame to see that this black guy walking past with his kids getting racially abused. And the geezer basically signed off saying, you know what's really sad is that this guy is more Millwall than most of the guys who were sharing, you know, ain't it?
My dad stopped going early in the 70s because he thought there was all fucking lunatics there now.
In 1977, BBC Panorama set out to make a film about Millwall FC, but it was not what the club had expected.
Another of Gordon's ideas was to invite the BBC Panorama team to film, you know, what we were doing, what our achievements were, you know, what we were proud of, and we did get extremely badly let down. Most people of my age know that we have yet to entirely recover from that programme.
Gordon and Jake invited the BBC cameras in to highlight the work of the community scheme and what the football club was doing, you know, in the heart of a community. And based on what was happening in America, what they tried to do in America with the new soccer league, and the BBC stitched him up.
Season. All good play by Season. Salvage again. Up to the byline. Nice cross coming in.
It completely destroyed the work that we'd done, of which Phil and Trevor were a part. The creation of a new type of view of how Millwall should be, what we were trying to do. It was still possible to aim to get in the top division in those days. The gradient up to that level was much gentler than it is now. You know, for Millwall to get and establish themselves in the top flight now will be miraculous. Can be done, but it will be miraculous. In those days, it was a realistic possibility. It almost broke Gordon. I don't think he's ever completely recovered as a man, because he fell in love with the club. He was very close to my dad. He loved the project. He knew what he was doing was right. We got enormously let down, and at times that continues to be the case from certain parts of the media. In the words of a later chairman, Reg Burr, the phenomenon of football hooliganism became, you know, a political issue, and what tends to happen in those circumstances are some kind of stereotype is needed, some kind of scapegoat is needed. Anyone that knows their history, European history, knows the role of a scapegoat. We were it. We were it, absolutely. And bigger clubs than us had bigger problems than us, but it didn't half suit them for the public to believe that hooligan was a Millwall problem, not a football problem. It really suited them. I won't name names, but everybody who knows me will know who I'm talking about. And Reg was once famously quoted as saying that Millwall is a convenient peg for society and football to hang their troubles on. I don't think he ever rehearsed that phrase, it just came out. And by God, it was a true one.
The riots that came to dominate the 1985 FA Cup match between Luton and Millwall marked a low point of hooliganism in Britain.
Luton, right? I was at that game. But that could have been the first Hillsborough.
It was madness. Oversubscribed. It was during the Thatcher era.
But the riots are also seen as symptomatic of wider conflicts in 1980s UK society.
Now, Thatcher
there was coal mine stuff going on.
The miners' strike, he was on the verge of the Wapping dispute, he was on the verge of the Broadwater Farm Estate riots, you'd already come on the back of the Brixton riots, all that sort of stuff.
In fact, I mean,
we were angry though. Yeah. We were young, angry men.
It was about a crush and it looked like it could be a serious disaster.
It was bad.
And the police at first didn't know how to do it, so they told people to come over the top. They broke the gates down. But what happened after that was there was a row. The police got routed. The Bedfordshire Constabulary got routed. They got run across the pitch. Shown on television, because it was on Match of the Day when they showed it on television. And Thatcher called a war cabinet.
We were scum at the end.
That was the start of it. Because it was more about the fact that, look, I can't go beating up miners at the Battle of Orgreave and all the rest of it, and have these fucking hoodlums ragging the police on the television. Because my thing is like, I've got to be shown to be battering them. And there was two incidents, Kenilworth Road and Broadwater Farm. They were the two places where...
No, you had a poll tape.
As far as Thatcher was concerned, right? Thatcher, you see, under Thatcher, there was no such thing as a football supporter and a football hooligan. If you went to a football match, you were an hooligan under Thatcher. That was it, full stop.
No one gets treated like that.
But she equated football, and can I tell you, said this, and I've read it, Kenneth Clark, who was right. She compared football fans stroke hooligans to militant trade unionists and the provision of IRA. That was the box that they were put into. Right, and what happened was, you'd had the thing at Luton and whatever. You actually had people writing in I think it was in the Times, where they were saying that football was a dirty game attended by dirty people and all the rest of it, right? And she was going to introduce the football membership scheme. Because this was the guy who was going to secure...
Well, Luton was the first one.
They did it,
And then what happened, Hillsborough come along and they thought, right, that's it. This is the vehicle that's going to get it through. Unfortunately for him, that when the Taylor report come out and he said, well, can they do hooligans? Because what we didn't know, unlike today, from the moment Hillsborough happened, right, it was Operation Cover-Up.
Millwall fans planned to steal the Highbury clock.
I remember that.
The media is not exactly Millwall's best friend, and many Millwall fans see themselves as victims of lazy journalism.
It's the media that's big on slating Millwall and putting them down and doing that. We've got nothing else to do, really.
Millwall played Brighton. And the Sun sent a black reporter. We need a racist story. And he went and sat in the press box. What was that they're saying? Zico went straight back to Wapping, wrote the story,
it, didn't it?
And he went, yeah, that was all saying Zico. I couldn't believe it. I went, no, that was Brighton supporters. Seagulls.
Brighton fans stood up and said, no, this is what we want. It was us saying this.
A rare apology was extracted.
What we've got to continuously be doing is the getting people to look more underneath a headline, understand the reality of what is going on, the facts, see the leaders in our society exercise greater responsibility in how they talk about problems and how they assign blame to certain groups of people, because that is what reaches out in the mindset of people and feeds their own prejudice, because we're all prejudiced in one way or another, some people worse than others, and it's how you use that prejudice that has a damaging impact on someone else. We're getting much better at how we learn about our own prejudices and not use it to harm other people. But it just needs a small intervention, either through media coverage of something, or what a politician says, or what some leading personality says, Mr. Trump, and immediately people's prejudices are aroused and hardens along certain lines.
Mom and Dad remember the Bermondsey streets where the front doors were open, no one needed their keys. Everybody trying to forget the war, but that big pile of bricks was the house next door. Stevedores and dockers waiting on the keys for the next big ship full of spices and teas. But the ships are no more and the docks are all flats. Now there's rich people running round instead of the rats. Pig, friends and Hartleys to go with your tea, and with Sarsens on your chips, what more could you need? We're from Bermondsey, we're all proper people, we're from Bermondsey.
Standing on South Bermondsey Station, it is as if the post-industrial city is closing in on the Den. The docks that were the heartlands of the industrial working classes are now financial and commercial centres. Lifelong fans have moved away, and different people now find their way to the Den.
I find it quite funny, like you come to now, and we're getting 5 stars on TripAdvisor by foreigners coming over to the
tourists. I mean, that seems bizarre.
Why are you a Millwall supporter?
I love the history. I love the. In Berlin, it's the same. My club, it's the same. We have spirit, the same spirit. To the club, it's a working club. Only working people go to the club. It's local. That's nice. I love it.
Things happen, like we overachieved anyway, do you know what I mean? But like, everything's good anyway, do you know what I mean? But like, just wait and see what this season brings.
Trevor, look at the seats.
The way in.
Is this the way in? But anyway, look at this.
A couple of those in my car.
No, you go
on. Oh, that goes straight there, going straight in my car.
If you're the sub in the back row there and they say warm up, you think,
no,
somebody else.
The game, yeah.
As much as 80% of the supporters lived within 5 miles of the stadium, unlike now.
I think the core support of Millwall will not change. A lot of the people who support Millwall and who lived in New Cross and Deptford, around the docks, lived there, although they would have moved out of the area, their loyalty is still to the club and they will come back in.
They're retractable as well, you know, you can lean back and...
It's better if they had a few arms there with a little drinks holder.
There's a little bit here on the end here, but it's your place.
Scotch and Cobra.
I was walking to the Fulham game, and I was recording on the podcast actually, and there was a group of guys walking in front of me, all with shorts and bottles of beer in their Bermondsey bowls, you know, effing and blinding. I'm behind them, shaking my head. You know. Behind me, there's a group of people dressed similar to them, but more salmons and pinks.
Yeah.
And they're drinking wine, and they're talking about the property prices in Twickenham. And I'm thinking, like, I don't know who I feel a part of here, because I don't feel connected with these guys, and I'm certainly not connected with these guys. And I think that's what I mean by we're the last people.
I agree.
I mean, I keep saying it, especially, you know, taking into account gentrification, the colonisation of the working class areas. We're the last of the Mohicans.
Fans would arrive at games by a variety of transport.
Millwall's history is that of a club closely linked to the Thames and the docks.
Described as little more than cattle trucks by one local reporter. It must be hard to believe this is the final day.
Yeah, it's hard to believe at the moment what the atmosphere and the crowd here. It just doesn't seem possible, but every good thing has come to an end, I suppose, and hopefully it'll be just as good at the new ground than it has been here.
Scenes from the last match at the Old Den in 1993. But are Millwall's days as a South London club numbered? Now another move to Kent may be in the offing, with Lewisham Council keen to develop the land surrounding the den.
Being able to move from over there to over here, the width of the distance of a long goal kick, that's a miraculous piece of luck to leave us basically where we are. But even West Ham having to move 4 miles has caused problems. Imagine what it would cause us to move to North Kent.
In the dark days, it's often associated with some of the rather negative side of football in hooliganism, of course. But, you know, as far as I can tell, the experience here has been very nice. I went to the club shop just before, and, you know, the people are really accommodating. And, you know, I guess it surprised me in some ways, but, you know, I just kind of know what my dad was talking about right now.
There's an expression, over my dead body. I'm not saying that I would throw myself under, you know, a bus to stop it, but it would kill me if that happened. This is an inner city club. It represents an inner city population. Inner city populations change, sometimes generation to generation. This one was particularly entrenched in Bermondsey and Deptford. That was the Surrey docks. Everyone worked in something to do with the docks. So that didn't change for a few generations. What we haven't done is, you know, that the population we had, the supporter base we had, they have moved. It isn't that we've got new fans who happen to live at Dartford. They're all people that come from Bermondsey and Peckham and Deptford and New Cross. That's what has happened. What we have to do, what I pray we're successful in doing, is bringing people from this immediate area into the club, because it's their club. That's my biggest wish, that whatever else happens to Millwall, that we represent, as we are, the most inner city club in London.
The biggest problem we have in British society is the way in which issues such as migration and xenophobia still dominate the mainstream of the culture. It is getting better, but people still hold views that are inconsistent with facts and with rationality.
We grew up in a very white working class kind of community, but at the same time we were very true to our Jamaican roots. You get what I'm saying? So it wasn't, even though we weren't trying to ever be something else. It was always, we were still true to our Jamaican roots, but we were amongst a community where it was like we gave as good as we get, as good as we got.
Win or lose, we'll drink the booze. We don't really give a fuck, do you know what I mean? That's how we roll anyway, do you know what I mean? We don't care about no glory. We're not glory hunters, as far as I'm concerned, right? As long as the team does well, right, everyone battles, and then that's as far as it goes.
Remember, Millwall went through the old National Front and violence and all that sort of stuff. So black kids in them days were supporting Arsenal because they had more prominent, and I think also players of more responsibility, like the David Rocastles who played for England, or, you know, Paul Davis and people like them. And they were more successful. That's the other thing. And you don't want to see kids wearing Arsenal shirts in South London.
All right, what's all this about?
Just hit it in. They've scored. Mark Bean arrives on the back post. And where was Arsenal's defence?
Oh, I'm a Palace fan. So will you drop me off home? No, I bloody well won't. You can walk from here, you know. It's just something about them. It's just, you know. Have you interviewed any of them or?
Not Palace, no, the other ones.
The last time we played them, so just coming in Zampa Road there, everyone's walking down. There was like 2 policemen standing there, and a load of Palace come round the corner. Come on, Millwall, come on! Everyone stopped and looked round and started laughing. You know, like normally if something like that, everyone goes, started laughing, and the policeman said to this group of about 20, "Come on, lads,
on your bike before you get hurt. And they walked away, you know, that's just them all over, you know, like all these ultras all wearing black and all that. Oh.